128-123. The Pelicans beat the Kings tonight. Tough loss. As I said on Twitter, as I said on Instagram, it was a wasted opportunity tonight. Wasted. It was wasted. I'll just call it the way it is. Kings played better, but I don't believe in moral victories. And Zion Williamson and the Pelicans did enough damage in the first half to win this game. The Kings turned it on a little bit too late. Again, to me, that's a lot to do with coaching for sure, but definitely players got to just be better about it, man. They have to come out better prepared. They got to come out ready to execute. And this week we'll dive into more X's and O's, more film sessions to see where they're going wrong. Because the individual defense is bad. Guys are getting blown by. I hate to pick on guys like Kojo and Glenn Robinson because they are bench players, but when they do come into the game, they really disrupt the rhythm and timing of this team, and it's so obvious, and it just hurts the team, period. It's such a drastic drop-off from your starters to when you put the bench in. Ty is playing with Kojo and Glenn Robinson. It's tough on him because his natural instincts aren't to score. His natural instincts are to have a scorer alongside him. And when you take out, I think the first rotation is you take out Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield for Kojo and Glenn. Then you got Fox out there, who is the best scorer on this team, but you just see just a different team because we know how good of a scorer Harrison Barnes has been all season long, averaging 17 points a game, close to 7 boards a game. Buddy Hield has been shooting lights out the last 4 games, I think 43% on 12 attempts. It's starting to click for him, but when you allow 120 plus points the last, I don't know how many games, a lot of games, you're not going to win many games. You're just not, you know. Buddy's talking right now as we speak. But yeah, man, it's frustrating for sure. And I hate just to give you like surface level analysis like right now because I don't have the film in front of me. I have to really dive into it, look at it, watch it, evaluate it, know what I'm looking for, see what I saw. I know what I saw in terms of how they got beat, but I really want to go back and double check on how they got beat, right? It's not just, well, they got beat, there's no ball movement, but what's the why to that? Why wasn't there ball movement? Or why did this certain guy get beat on this certain possession? How did he get beat? Those are all questions that we must ask ourselves to further our knowledge, to further our understanding of this beautiful game that we love. How can they get better? Taking this type of angle, right? Leading with your left foot rather than your right foot, the technicalities of this game, the nuances of this game that make you a better player, that make you a better analyst. How can we break these things down? Those are the questions that we must be asking ourselves. Because when you say, well, we got to bring energy, we got to bring better execution. Yeah, no shit. Duh. Like, yeah, that's your job to bring energy, to execute every night, to be better prepared. That's your job. I want to know why you got beat, how you got beat. What was the defensive package on that possession? Why did you decide to go under the screen rather than over? Obviously, that's even, in a sense, surface level too, because obviously it just depends on the opposing player. But what could have X player done here? Could he have rotated faster? Could he have cheated faster? Could he have stunted faster? Those are the things that I like to look at when I look at film. Why? Why was Richaun Holmes getting bullied? Was it because he simply got bullied, or was it because he had to guard his teammates defend his teammates guy who they beat off the dribble. He had to step up and rotate, and then nobody had his guy, or it was way too late when they dropped it off to his man, and then he was in a bad position to contest. Those are all things that we got to ask ourselves. It's not as simple as, oh, well, he just got beat and Zion had 31 points. How did Zion get his 31 points? Why didn't the Kings go to zone faster to take away the middle from Zion Williamson? They should have just lived and died by them shooting jump shots. Because these are professional basketball players. You can't take everything away from them. You can't. It's impossible. You got to give up something. And at some point, I appreciated Luke playing Hack a Shack on Steven Adams because he looked at the numbers and he said, okay, this guy's a 46, 44% free throw shooter. I'm going to live and die with him shooting free throws. He hit 6 of 8. It didn't work. But I'm glad that was a risk that I would have took as well, honestly. So I applaud him for that. But in terms of putting in Kojo and leaving them out there for the extended time that he did, that's where I was tweeting and I was like, man, I don't care if you're trying to give this guy a breather. You got to take him out because this team needs Fox out there, period. They need Buddy out there to spread out the floor at the bare minimum, period. You cannot leave minus basketball players who are not contributing in any way, shape, or form because Koju consistently gets beat defensively so often. Nobody deserves minutes. You got to earn those minutes. Just because he's a veteran doesn't mean he has to play the amount of minutes that he has played. I think it's ridiculous to assume something like that. Something needs to change. Period. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. I think Buddy's laughing. I don't know at what, but see. Let's see. This is what Harrison Barnes said today. It's definitely on us as players. Wait, no, that was the other night. Frankly, we have to hold teams to under 50% shooting. If we can't hold the team under 120, it's going to be a long night. Harrison Barnes on the Kings defense, 100%. Luke had this to say, I'm glad to see we found our fight again tonight. There was a moment where it could have gone really south again. Frustrated at the result. And he seemed frustrated. About time. He looked animated tonight. He was talking more to the refs. I think it's gotten to the point where he needs to take that Doc Rivers approach where he's just consistently hounding and hounding the referees. I know that's not his approach, and he said that. He likes to take the relaxed, professional approach, but when your best player, De'Aaron Fox, continually gets hacked the way he does, and he should be going to the free throw line a lot more because he's looking for that contact, and other players get those type of calls, you got to be on top of the referees. You got to be pushing them. You got to ask for a technical foul sometimes. You got to do it. And that has nothing to do with X and I. That just has to do with knowing the situation, what you like at that moment. De'Aaron Fox deserves to go to the free throw line a lot more because he does get hacked a lot. Like a lot. He also said, continue to work, continue to trust each other. We will be fine. That's Luke Walton. But he just ended his press conference. I don't know what he said. I'm sure it was kind of funny. Again, he's shooting lights out the last 4 games. Tonight, he was 5 of 11, which is really good. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 18 points. Pretty efficient night. De'Aaron Fox, I went 43 points, 13 assists, 4 rebounds. 3 and 9 from beyond the arc. That could be better. But 17 and 27 from the field. Dude's a monster, man. He needs to average at least, at the bare minimum, 23 points a night. At the bare minimum. At the bare minimum. Make no mistake about it. He needs to average 23 points at the bare minimum for this team to have a chance to win games. We all know that. Hopefully tonight marks the first night where he just takes off because he needs to. He needs to be that guy, that number one option on this team, period. He needs to be. Marvin Bagley had back-to-back possessions where I thought were his two best possessions ever. He hits a corner three, then on the following possession, which was a defensive possession, he takes a charge. That's what I like to see. Now, I was pretty confused and was ready to tweet out when he pulled out Halliburton for Bagley at the 5-minute mark of the fourth. I was like, oh my. And I understood it from a defensive standpoint. Not even. Just from a matching up from a size perspective, because they put in Zion back in and they had Steven Adams out there. But I was like, will you make them adjust to you? Put Steven Adams in the pick and roll, man. What are you doing? Again, always wanting to adjust to what the other teams do. I know Bagley had great moments down the stretch, but I would have kept Halliburton in. Like, I really would have. And he wanted to match up from a size perspective. And yeah, that gave Bagley valuable minutes. But again, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to win games or are you trying to develop Bagley? It really does come down to that. And it seems like they're trying to develop Bagley, which again, as our good friend Javi said, it's a roadblock to the Kings winning games today, right now. If your idea is to just develop him and lose games, there's no shame in that. Just come out and say it. I would rather you just say it, and then I would respect that a lot more. Period. So that's what I think about that. Zion Williamson, 13 of 15 from the field. Again, 13 of 15 from the field. That means that they did a poor job of resisting from him getting into the paint. When he's in the paint, when he's going downhill, it's over. There's nobody that will be able to stay in front of this guy. The only guy that could bump him in a sense is his own teammate, and that's his own teammate in Steven Adams. And even then, he don't have the lateral quickness to stay in front of Zion. When he puts his shoulder down, it's over. It's going to hurt. It's really going to hurt. But 13 and 15 is a defensive scheme. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to let you into the paint. I'm going to play zone. I'm going to bring a double to get the ball out of his hands. He was effective tonight. 31 points, 6 boards, 4 turnovers, 2 assists. But 13, he missed 2 shots. That needs to be that right there needs to get better for the Kings defensively. Ingram 8 of 19, 22 points. He's nice, but D Fox, man, he took it upon himself to give his team a chance. Really good defensive possessions on. I think he had 3 really good possessions on Ingram where he made him turn it over. There you go, 3 turnovers. Those are all Fox. Steven Adams, 3 of 8, 15 boards, 12 points. Eric Bledsoe, 21 points, 6 boards. Eric Bledsoe hit some tough shots tonight. I was going to say, I'm going to live and die with this guy shooting shots. And he made some shots tonight. It really came down to that. Like, he hit big shots today. He was 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. I'm going to live and die with Eric Bledsoe shooting 3-point shots. I'm sorry. I am A-okay with him shooting the 3-point shot. Shoot the shot, bro. The odds of him going 3 of 4 again are slim to none. Honestly. Why? Because we've seen it his entire career. He's not that guy. He was that guy tonight, which is unfortunate for the Kings and Kings fans in general. But I'm going to let that guy shoot the ball, man. Alexander, he's nice. He's a guy that I could look at and be like, okay, I want him on my team. 9 points, nothing flashy, 5 boards, 5 assists, 3 of 8. He's big, he's tall, he can guard multiple positions. He can score a little bit. He's nice. He's young. Jackson Hayes was nice. 4 of 6, 11.6 boards. He brought the energy and he gave that team an early lead, man. He was a big component to that early lead from the Pelicans. You know, I just realized this, but that was Kyra Lewis out there. Honest to God, I completely forgot where he got drafted. And I was like, damn, that guy is fast. You know, just thinking out loud, I was like, He looked so familiar to me. I was thinking like, who the hell is he? And I was having trouble. I don't know if my eyesight's failing me, but I was having trouble reading the last name on the jersey. But I'm like, man, like that that hair, that cut. I was like, that hair. He seems familiar. Now looking at the box score, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was Kyra Lewis. 1 of 5, 3 points, 5 assists. He gave him good minutes. He did. JJ Redick, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. That's pretty typical from him. But again, I'm gonna live with that. He only played 18 minutes, 14 points. Very valuable. Josh Hart's nice, man. Defensively, he's a beast. 5 boards, 5 points, 25 minutes. It's the little things that he does. He makes winning plays. That's a guy that I would love to have. Josh Hart on the Kings for Kojo. That would replace him. Obviously, the Pelicans would never accept that. There's nobody. There's not a team in the NBA. I can't think of, because Kojo is technically your backup point guard. He has to be the worst backup point guard, backup shooting guard, backup guard, period, in the entire NBA. He has to be the worst. I can't think of someone that's worse than Kojo. Seriously, I can't. I can't think of anybody that's worse than Kojo. But the Pelicans they have some nice pieces, even without Lonzo Ball tonight. Hopefully everybody can hit that like button. Make sure you share, subscribe, all those good things. Also, shout out to Valley Tire Center. They're having great deals right now on Cooper tires. Their winter sale is going on. It's full. It's in effect, and we all love it. If you want to lift a truck, easy. Go on their website. Give them a phone call, though. They'll give you the exact details of what you're looking for, what type of lifts, all those good things. The number is 530-666-9601. Again, the number is 530-666-9601. Valley Tire Center. We appreciate them, as always, for sponsoring this podcast and supporting the Cowbell Kingdom platform. Joey says Kings got to play Bagley. They're not making the playoffs anyway, and he is the most valuable when given the opportunity to develop. Yeah, I just come out and be transparent with the fans. Be like, you know what? We're looking to develop somebody. Okay. Be like, okay. I would accept it more. But if you put out but I can't accept it because you have a De'Aaron Fox on this team. De'Aaron Fox, who is just as good as anybody. When he's on, he's just as good as anybody. And when you have that type of talent on your team, you can't help but want the best for the kid, because you want to surround him with the best available talent right now, not what their upside may be, because that doesn't matter. It's what can they do for you now. And the best 5 on this team is Harrison Barnes and Holmes, Ty, Buddy, and Fox. When you play a 5-out offense, which is what the Kings play, and you run multiple actions off of that, like split cuts, like DHOs, then you have to have the four position be able to hit a 3-point shot consistently. The Pelicans are making Bagley. They were hoping he shot the ball the way he did, which, again, that's what they lived with him shooting those shots. Yeah, he made a few, but he was 2 of 6. I don't want Bagley shooting 6 3-point shots. He's not a good shooter, period. He fell right into the trap of the Pelicans. They're like, yeah, shoot the ball. We want you to shoot the ball. We're going to eliminate the paint from Fox, from everybody else, and we'll live with Bagley to shoot those shots. That's simple. The game plan was easy. Yeah, he got numbers, but the Kings lost. 26-10. Good game. But again, what is the goal of this season? Is it to develop him, or is it to lose games? Sorry, if you develop him, you're going to lose games. If you don't, then he needs to play less minutes, period. He played 36 tonight. Again, give him credit. He had a good game, no doubt. But you got to ask yourself, and that's the question of the show. Develop Bagley or win games. Because you can't do both. So if you develop Bagley, you're going to lose games. And if you want to win games, you don't play Bagley as much. That's simple. You don't play Kojo as much either. But I get it. There's no Daquan Jeffries yet. He's injured. That was a big injury, man. In terms of a backup guard forward, the Kings need a solid guard forward. That's not Glenn Robinson or Kojo because they're both awful. Let's just call it the way it is. They're both awful. Glenn specifically, for being that athletic, he should be so much better defensively, and he's not. He's so slow laterally. And then he's so soft when it comes to allowing and ones. Like, bro, foul somebody. Foul him hard. It's difficult. It's difficult to watch. How about trade Bagley while his value is still high? Zion will forever own him in the West. Hate to say it, bro, but even after tonight's game, he has no value yet. He needs to put a string of games before you even remotely think about getting something valuable in return. I know what NBA teams are thinking about Bagley. They're like, oh, well, he has upside. Like, everybody knows that. I know that. You know that. The whole world knows that. Yeah, he has upside. But this fan base is hungry for a playoff spot. Even if it's a 10 seed and you qualify for the playing game and you go that route. Right now, there's not much you can get from Marvin Bagley, honestly. Hate to say it, hate to admit it, but it's the truth. And you know I'm here to keep it honest with you guys, to keep it realistic with you guys. It is what it is, man. He hasn't improved his game to where he should have improved his game. And this is technically the second year because he missed most of his second year. But, I mean, that's a technicality. This is really his third year. He's had multiple off seasons where he could have gone stronger. He's getting pushed by guards in the paint. It's the truth, man. Harrison Barnes was his first bad game of the season. 41 minutes, 2 of 8, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 7 points. Worst game of the season. It's okay to have a night off. He still played big minutes because he's still valuable defensively. He still had a lot of good possessions defensively. He knows how to impact the game in different ways. That's Harrison Barnes, a consummate professional. High class at all times. Methodical with how he moves, with how he kicks out, with how he attacks, with how he draws fouls. This guy is legit. He's earning every single penny. And even though he struggled offensively, he brought it defensively, man. I can't fault him for that. He was a big component to holding Brandon Ingram to 8 of 19 from the field. I'm going to take that every time you did a good job. Fabian Reed says, my boy Fabian, man, got love for my brother. I wouldn't mind trading HB for a true big man. Now, I want to know what the names are, and we'll go from there. How about trade Bagley? That was the same one. Tyson says, we need another version of Harrison Barnes so we can move him to the 4 and have another 6'8" wing. 6'8" wings are golden in the NBA, brother. Hard to have them. Hard to get them. Hard to draft them. The good ones, at least. And they come at a prime price. At a premium price. They're hard to get, bro. They're hard to get. Maybe when we get Jeffries back, that will help our defense. What I saw from Jeffries, again, he's still an unknown question mark to me. But I think he still has a higher upside than both Kojo and Glenn Robinson. And I would like to see what they have in him. But he's injured. And by the time he gets back into the flow of things, he messed up his ankle, which is pretty hard to come back from. Ask me, I'm having a lot of ankle problems, especially today. I went to go get some work in at the school that I go play at outside by myself. And literally, this excruciating pain on the outside ball of my ankle started hurting. And this is me admitting that I've never felt better. But as of late, since I've started working out, trying to lose these 25 pounds, I've put pressure on my feet and I put pressure on my ankle. And I can't even imagine the pain that these dudes go through. Like, seriously, I can't imagine it. So we hope he gets back very, very soon. Kojo on offense looks like me if I would be in the NBA, trying so hard, but just not good enough on that level, says DB. Okay. Fox needs catch and shoot players. Sorry, Barnes and Buddy, but they are not it. I don't agree with that. Kojo's not an NBA player. I agree with that. I don't think he's a rotational player for sure. He's not that. Is he a 14th man guy? Maybe. Yeah, he is. He's a 14th man guy because of his professionalism for sure. And because he plays hard and he's a guy that will make it somewhat difficult in practice. So if he's that guy, I'm okay with that. But if he's playing major minutes in your rotation, there's a problem there. That shows a lack of depth and lack of talent on the team. Leo, at this point, what trade would you make if you were Monte? Again, I'm going to try to go out and I'm going to get some of these guys from the Pelicans. Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, Alexander. 3 guys that I would look at. Cody Martin or Kayla Martin from the Hornets. I might, like E-Man said, I might even look at Scary Terry. I might. Norman Powell's another guy I'd look at. OG, another guy I'd look at. But why would the Raptors give them up? See, those are all questions you got. And people say, oh, can we trade Kojo? Why would another team want a guy that's not that good? That's what you got to ask yourselves. Why would another team want a guy that's not that good? A guy who still has another year at $12, $13 million next season. Why? So stop with this Kojo. Why would anyone else want your garbage chips? Seriously, why? Are you going to attach a first-round pick to take him out of your hands? No. At that point, just keep him. Let's trade for PJ Tucker. I don't think the Rockets want to trade him. Unless you give him something good. And I don't think I'd give up Bagley. Not yet. Unless I got like Gordon and PJ Tucker. I'd be like, okay, let's do it. Which is straight up. And obviously the numbers got to make sense. But if you say, I don't know what he's getting paid, him and Gordon, but if a Kojo and Bagley for Gordon and PJ Tucker, I'd do that. I'd do it in a heartbeat, actually. I would. Because I want to win games now. I want to win games now. Mo Bamba's not that good, though. Mo Bamba's not that good. I don't even think PJ Tucker want to play with the Kings. Yeah. They're asking me, though, hypotheticals. I'm hypothetically answering. Right? Phone lines are open. If Javi or anybody else wants to call in, the number is in the description. Y'all can go ahead and call in. Again, Kings lose 128 to 123. E-Man disappeared on me today. I don't know what happened. He said,
He made it 3, but
oh man, that was funny. What's up, Javi? Hello? Hello?
How you doing today?
What's up, bro?
This is Javier from Vancouver. Sorry about that. So, my assessment of the game is kind of like beating a dead horse. I just do not understand how progression of this team has got significantly worse, but night in and night out, and you hear the recap, and you hear Christie, and you hear these, just the K Christians of the world. It's just very hard to fathom. I just don't understand what the job security of this coach is. Like, I have 2 trade proposals I'm going to say what I'm going to send you, and technological aspects fixed, but it's just, it's like it's turning into like we feel like we do the same over and over again. Different. That's the definition of insanity. Like the Kojo minutes, the Bagley minutes. The question I pose is: it Bagley's seeking to develop, or is it are we trying to compete? And I just after 43, we lose by 5. Just oh my! I don't know what do we need? You tell me what do we need? We need a backup point guard. Do we need a scorer?
The Kings need to be able to replace Kojo and Glenn Robinson because they're both awful. So,
but that was Bogdan's spot. That was his spot. That's what it's just so that was bogey. Those are bogey's minutes.
Exactly.
I don't understand how
those are even Dante's minutes. Those were even Dante's minutes.
Yeah, they were, and I mean, the Pelicans have lost 5 straight. I mean, Hart's tweeting our morale is down, and they were thrashing us. Like, granted, we came back, but it ain't like there's some great ball club. Like, they lost 5 straight, and they came in here and put a hurting on us. And I'm asking Kings fans that are on the chat that you can call in. You say we need a new backup point, a new backup shooting guard. I want to know what you guys think because obviously trading Bagley right now is just not competent. It's not smart unless you're going to get a good toll back. His value is shot from his father to his play to his injury history, etc. But then you look at De'Aaron. Like, De'Aaron needs help. And I'm not saying Buddy's not the good player that he is, but he's not a scorer, he's a shooter. Like, you know what I mean? That's the difference. Like,
well, he's a shooter. He's a shooter in this offense because they're using him as just a last resort in the corner, which Dave used him a lot differently, where he had more possessions where he could have scored, and that's where the big difference is. And I just feel like they're preparing him to trade him at the deadline. That's just what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me by watching how Luke uses him. That makes sense.
Trading him for what?
Oh, I mean, I that I don't know, but by how they're using him and how Dave used him, which was a lot to relocate, more down pins, more Iverson cuts, stuff like that. The way Luke uses him, which is the exact same pin down that he runs every play. That's how he gets with that Rashawn Holmes high pick. That's literally the only play that they run for Buddy, and if not, he's just standing in the corner. That to me shows me that they're looking for just a set shooter. And if that's the case, I think Buddy's more than that. But if that's the case, then yeah, they're gonna have to trade him.
And what's most frustrating, Leo, is you look at the roster, and I don't know if Kings fans have thought of this, but like, how would Jaeger have this team right now? Like, if he would have played Jaeger or play Barnes at the 4 like Jaeger wanted. I mean, he had Rashawn, but he had Bagley, just because they would have played different. Like, and I just wonder, like, we're so flawed in defensive schematic play design that they say Luke Wall was going to come here and fix. But it's like, look at him. I mean, they gave 128 hits. So we were a hair shy of putting up another 130-point outing defensively. And we're like, yeah, they showed fight tonight. They showed fight tonight because Fox gave every ounce of off 180 pounds of himself. That's why they competed. It wasn't like, I'm not saying they did all ball, but it's like, at the end of the day, this should not be a result to where like, oh yeah, they competed to lose by 5 to a team that's lost 5 straight. Good effort. Like, bro, De'Aaron's in year 3. He's in year 4. And he's dropping 43, and we lose by 5. Oh my man, I don't know. I'm gonna watch the film again. You think we need a backup point, a backup shooting guard that would have been Bogdan's minutes or even Tinko's minutes? But I hope Kings fans realize I think Gabe would have had his team like in the Phoenix category. Maybe not talent wise, but at least the way they play. And I want to see people's feedback because when I put these trade acquisitions on the page in a day or so, give or take, it's just going to make you think, like, what's McGarrett waiting for? Or is this all a design plan to just produce Marvin Bagley's development? And that's what it feels like.
All right, brother. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, Leo. Thank you.
Good call by Javi. Good call by Javi. He's right, man. The Kings need to find a way to replace Kojo or Glenn Robinson because those minutes are very valuable. They're not getting the production that those minutes require. What can they do to find a player that can come in and give him those Bazemore type minutes, right? They had Dante DiVincenzo. They had him. And they were a byproduct of a scandalous overreaction by the NBA. AD, we know that, forced his way to the Lakers. He tampered for a year and a half. James Harden tampered for a long time. Nobody lost picks. The Bucks lost a pick, and the Kings lost a good player in Dante DiVincenzo, who's shooting. I don't know if he's still shooting 55%, but if he's not, he's probably shooting anywhere from 45 to 50 right now, or at least at the bare minimum 40%. I haven't looked at his stats, but he is way better than Glenn Robinson. He's way better than Kojo, and he would have been a nice piece. Or just re-signing Bogey and find a way to attach us 2 seconds and get rid of Kojo, or just cut Kojo, cut the bait. But obviously, if you don't want to win games, you're not thinking like that, though. The Kings, it seems like they're not trying to win games right now. That's what it feels like to me. Because nobody wants Kojo, especially at that price tag, man. Let's be honest, 13 mil for Kojo, who honestly is not a rotation player. He's a fringe NBA player. That's what he is. He's a fringe NBA player. At 13 mil, come on, man. Come on, man. 3 years, 36? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It is what it is, man. We're going to end it on that note. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure you hit the like or dislike if you're watching this. It really does help us out a lot. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully the Kings get a win in the near future. I don't know when. Hopefully in the near future. They should have got one tonight. Waste our opportunity. I'm going to go back, watch the film, and see where the Kings can improve. Not like they're going to listen or anything like that, but it's still good habits to build by watching the mistakes. That's how you get better, going back into the lab and getting the work done. I appreciate every single one of you, as always. My fish tank is got a bacterial bloom. And I just did a water change. I don't get it. Trial and error, bro. This hobby is expensive and is very time consuming. So if you ain't got the time or the money, don't do it. But if you got love for the marine aquatic life, then go ahead and do it, man. They're my kids. My fish are my kids. But all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all on the next one.